We're getting in some big breaking news at this hour. The perpetrators of Lt Ummer Fayaz, who was murdered in Kashmir's Shopian, have been identified. This is huge. According to the army sources, the joint group of terror organization Lashkar-e-Taiba and Hizbul Mujahideen were behind the killing of the young lieutenant, the army officer who was tortured before he was killed. A total of 6 terrorists have been identified. According to information coming in from sources, 6 masked gunmen came to the wedding that he was attending and they took away Ummer Fayaz. He was sitting near the bride on the first floor of the house when he was kidnapped. So that is the big news coming in right now. Sources have even said that the locals, in fact, had helped the army to identify the perpetrators, as there is a huge amount of anger amongst his relatives, well-wishers, friends and the community against his killing. Kamaljeet Sandhu joins us with the very latest on this. Kamaljeet, tell us more. Tell us about, the kind of information that has now been accessed by the army with regards to the army officers' killers.
After the dastardly act of cowardice, remember, the army operations are now underway. We've been told that army is going to be conducting operations in the next few days to flush out militants and in particular the perpetrators. Sources clearly pointing out that 6 armed gunmen were the ones who are behind the particular dastardly attack. They're saying the locals are helping them in identifying these perpetrators. And yes, the army is also realigning their CI grid, which is the counter-insurgency grid. There is going to be some important movement in the area of Shopian, in Pulwama, in South Kashmir itself, in various places including Tral itself, and even in Budgam. They're saying this realignment is taking place because there would be more operations which would be taking place, and perhaps considering that there was one of the biggest operations, search and cordon operation, which took place a few days ago, put pressure on the militants, and that is why they chose to attack an unarmed soldier, somebody who was on leave, and that is how they perpetrated this particular act. But the army is vowing revenge. They said they will hit back at the militants, 6 of them being identified at this point of time. They're not willing to disclose the names as such, but saying there would be search operations conducted in the next few hours and days to flush out these particular militants. And yes, army already looking at changing its tactics. They're saying they're going to be taking help of locals to identify and also make few of the surrenders happen in the area itself.
Yes.
Especially because South Kashmir has been hot in the past few days itself. The other part is also to neutralize these foreign militants. And at this point of time, big news coming in that how HM, the local militants and our foreign militants working hand in glove to actually perpetrating an attack like this one.